Art students, Brian Proctor back in the classroom. The art teacher is back. And this is another action pose position of the week, 39 if I'm not mistaken. And it is Doom. Doom. And this is the finished picture. That's hot. Yes, it is. That's hot. So I did a little something different with this picture. I took the action pose that I usually do and I took it all the way to a completed drawing so that you guys can see what the whole purpose of me doing the action poses are for. It's for you to be able to take that same pose and then turn it into your character. So yeah, let's go and get into the video so you can start doing your characters. Let's go. All right, now let's get started with this position. Now what I want to do first is draw a quick rough, because anytime I start to draw slow, I get stiff. And it's been a minute since I've done a quick rough, so it might be a stiff rough. First of all, let me get my margins. So these are the 2 points I don't want to go past. So usually you start out with the torso, or you should be starting out with the torso, which is here, leaving enough room for the head, making sure you guys can see this. So I'm going to make this a little darker. I had to break out a new pencil because those little pencils were killing me right here. They were so short, they kept pushing in my hand right there. So then we're going to go with the torso. He's going to be leaning over, or he's going to be twisted a little bit, come down. You have the waist, the house, upside down house, and then the leg. The torso might be a little too short, but you can always lengthen that little tuna can. Upside down house. So bring this down because it's going to be on one leg, the other leg is going to be up. So that's a cylinder here. And then down, another cylinder there. So he's going to be leaning on this leg, so you can't have it straight down like this because you'll fall off and you can't really have it straight. You can have a little straight, but I'm going to have mine out. Bring it in just a little bit. So around about like that. So you got to have your balance. This is why you want to do a rough real quick. Don't start out by trying to do detail. I've known a lot of people that wanted to do detail. They'll start out, they're like, oh, get the arm right and get the shoulder here. And then it comes out wrong. So do a light, rough, always do a light, rough picture. And then you check your balance, you check your length of your arms, you check your length of your legs. And then after that, then you can go in and then do your details. So this is why I keep mine light or keep mine rough, so that I can kind of move stuff around a little bit and say, okay, this is going to go here and this is going to go there, arm here, arm there. And then once you get it, then you say, okay, I like that. Then you start out making a little more detail to it, and then you add a little more detail after that, and then you put stuff like clothes and stuff on it. But don't start out trying to draw perfectly right off the bat. You'll mess yourself up. And a lot of new artists or beginning artists always give up after that. After that first 2 or 3 pictures they try to get, doesn't come out right, they give up. So that's half a triangle. Basically, if I did a whole triangle, it would look like that. Hopefully you guys can see that. My camera, this is very bright today. I don't know why. Sometimes I get a really bright background and sometimes I get a dull background. But if you notice, it's weird. It brightens and darkens as I move my hands. I don't know if it's a camera or if it's just this universe or what. So anyway, and put the foot down here, because his foot is going to be on something. So for you who are tripping, there it is. He's on something. So this is one thing I want to do, point out. Tilt the shoulder blades go across. Torso, shoulder blades? No, shoulder blades in the back. This is your collarbone. Thank you. I'm back. Tilt your collarbone, especially if it's on the side. Tilt your collarbone sometimes to give it that little more of a dramaticness. So if I did a picture like this. Here it is, the guy here, the legs there. Tilt this. And that gives him that kind of upper echelons look, upper echelons, whatever. So by tilting your collarbone, you can give a better look. So now you know when you tilt this, this is going to come up as well. This whole thing is going to be tilted, which is going to put that pinch right here, but that's going to stretch this one out. So if you have a character with a skin tight suit on, it's going to be like that. Just remember, whenever you turn that down, this is going to pinch into that waist, which is right here. So yeah, you're going to have this little curve and a curve back out, which is, this one's going to be all the way around. So that's just a quick pointer for you guys. So again, this head might be way up here, so I should have brought it down, but since I started, I'm going to finish. I can always drop the waist down a little bit. So we're going to do that collarbone, tilt it like that. Coming up to the delt, like that, which is just a circle. This other delt is back here. So let's define the chest now. And this paper, this is old, this is, what is this? This is like cardstock. It's like a thick paper. It's not this thin copy paper. It's a little thicker, but this is, you can see it's kind of yellowed because it's old. I started buying this stuff in bulk back in the day. And this paper is too dark, too light. This extra piece here, this curve is going to serve as the shoulders. This point here, make that V, and then you have your neck. Put your head, and then your neck, where that neck is going to go. As I said, that's kind of high, but it's in there. That, so you have your mountain here. This is an upside down U or a mountain. Since it's at an angle, the mountain should be at an angle. If this was straight on, you could do a V, which basically it's better to do a U straight on, but if it is from the side, you want to do that side V. If you do a V, if you have to, if it's too hard, and then just turn it into a U later. Like that. So the side, coming in and down. Chest is just above that. So we have this, where this point is. Go up to the shoulder where the delt connects. And that tells you where to turn the chest at. And remember, because this is going down, the chest has got to go down too. And then let's switch back to my red. And this is just a cylinder or rectangle. This is a circle with another circle here, with a smaller circle here. And that just means that you have your cylinder. Basically, this is the old paper towel cylinder. You have this arm, or this part of the arm here, going this way. And this part of the arm is coming like this, showing, if I can get it right on the camera, showing more down here, and then it narrows out right here, but unfortunately this doesn't narrow out. Just look at stuff like cylinders, and then it'll be easier for you to draw when you look at things like shapes. And that's just a quick hand. Same thing here. If you see what I just did, that's just basically a rectangle for that part of the arm. And then because this is going to go down, it can be straight. If I brought it back a little bit or forward, it has to round itself out. So if this is going down, but if I brought this back a little bit, it would have to round out. And then by aiming this one here, I would have to round that out as well. Like that. Can you guys see this? Because this paper, as I said, is yellow, so it's not really picking up that light. And a lot of people ask about the red pencil. This is just a red checking pencil. This is a, let me see if you guys can see this. I don't think it'll zoom in. Where is it? This. I have it on zoom lock. It's not going to zoom in and out. This is going to lock. But this is a red checking pencil you can get from, what do you call it, like an Office Depot or something. And then I just like the way it feels. It's like if you have an ink pen that has too much ink and it slides across, and you have another ink pen that doesn't have enough ink and it just kind of like you have to pull it. Different. The pencil it slides more. This one has more grab to it. You have to kind of force it a little bit, and I like that the way it feels. This is why I use a red pencil, checking pencil. I just like the way that feels when I draw with it. It kind of gives me a little more bite to it. So, looking at this, of course, this is just one long cylinder that just goes down. It can actually almost be a triangle if you look at it. It goes down and narrows out. It can narrow all the way to a point. You cut it where you want your ankles to be at, and then you add your foot, which is just half a triangle, like that. A whole triangle would be here and an added point. So just like that. Because when you draw your leg, let's just say, here's his hips, and here's his leg, really short leg, so it'll fit on the paper. You just go straight down with that foot. The foot doesn't come out. The inside of the foot comes basically straight down, and then you have that, like that. So, yeah, so that's why you just want to keep this straight down. And as I say, if I was going to make that into a triangle, the rest of it would be like this. Everything has a shape. You just have to see. You have to master your shapes first. Then you have to see what the object you're drawing is shaped like, or the closest shape to it. And since you've mastered your shapes, then you can take that object, whatever it is, be a leg, a head, a hand, a chicken, or whatever, and you can say, oh, that's shaped like a cylinder, or that's shaped like a triangle, that's shaped like a this. And then you do that basic shape, and then you just add and take away little pieces. So there's your knee. And then, so whenever you draw a leg, you want to be aware of where the center of that leg is, so you don't get all mixed up. So it comes right down the center of that knee. It would go down that shin bone and then up like this. So the center of your leg usually, and I'm going to do a leg video, but I don't want to do it until I have it all down, explainable, right, because I can draw a leg, but when you try to explain it, to teach it, it's a whole different story. So I have to make sure that I got it right when I tell you and show you. So your center of your knee comes down to your shin bone, and you have those muscles. Your knee is shaped like this. Let me get a marker so I can make sure you guys can see. And of course, I can't find it. I was using it yesterday. So you have your legs are shaped like this. Your knee comes in and goes back out like that. Down like that, in and back like that. So your knee is here, which kind of goes more to the outside, but we'll just deal with that. So you have these two muscles, one here and then one here. And that shape makes a little V shape. So if you keep that line center of these two muscles, it helps you determine where your leg is. So if your leg is up like that, here's your knee. You know it's going to come straight down, and then there, and then you have those two muscles, one here and one on the other side. So it just kind of helps you keep the muscles in line. So my phone is blurring again, which it does after a while. So let me stop it and restart it, and maybe it'll be a little clearer. All right, so that is a little clearer because, as I say, my phone likes to blur after a few minutes. When I put it in focus lock, I have to lock the focus in one position because it will, every time I move my hand, it'll blur in and out the same way this light goes up and down. So I'm going to bring this head down a little bit more. delt, your bicep, here, tricep here, and the forearm. And then I brought this arm back. Now, do I want to bring it back or do I want to have it forward? I'm going to bring it, keep it back. Take the pencil out your mouth when you talk. So your delt, remember that's going to go down. Top of the delt is just going to be that little ball. Your arm is going to be that cylinder. Well, since it's going back, it's going to be that cylinder that goes back into the body or behind the body. Like that. Where's my blue pencil? Maybe you guys can see that. You can see it pretty well. So basically, it's going to be this cylinder here, like this. It's going to go back. The body's going to cover it. It's going to hide it. Then you have this other cylinder here, which connects like that. And then the hand. See, that's a little long, so because I brought it back, I had to shorten it out. And let's just see if I want to keep it this far back. So I erased this part that I don't need, that is hiding. So we have my chest, this part, and that. You can do that. And then I'll just have this hand up like that. So basically what I did here was, and it's good to have this, a couple of these. Where's the second one right here? Just have a couple you can do toilet paper or paper towel rolls, and then just put them together, and then just kind of like see how they would go, especially coming from the top and the bottom, and then just make the arm. So this arm would be like this, and basically like this. And because it went back, you'll see the roundness of the top. And because where the arm is coming out, you'll see some of the roundness of the bottom. So, but it's a good practice to have. You can't really see it because these are long and it's close up. But it's good. Even with legs, if you're doing knees and so forth, like this knee would be, this top of this leg here would be like this. Well, it's hard to show you guys. And then the other one would be down here. So you'll still see some of the circle here, but you won't see any at the bottom. That's a whole nother video. All right. Now, let's do the pencil thumb here. Palm, palm. And then this hand. I haven't figured out what I want to do with the hand. I kind of know, but I don't know yet. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you just put the fingers. And you won't see that thumb. So what I just did here that you guys didn't see, when it's easy to draw a fist because you have a fist. Your fist is square somehow, some way. It's just a square or a rectangle. And then a little piece for the thumb, and then you split your fingers. And then, as I say, if it's going back in space, you'll have that. You'll see a little bit of the palm here. But when you're doing an open hand, just do a small rectangle like this. Square it out like that, like a little block or slab. 1, 2, 3, 4 for your finger openings, and then you can put your fingers in here using the whole cylinder what? Using cylinders. And of course, you know you have the 3 joints to your fingers, but in comics, unless you're doing a close-up of hands, it's just easier just to use 2 joints. And then you just kind of round that off later. But that's your quick hand rough. And as I say, you just round that off later. Or you do your detail to it later. Because you have your knuckles, it comes up your knuckles, and then this finger would be just a little closer. And then you have your palm. This comes back. You have your palm, other half of the palm, and your thumb is going to be over here somewhere. And it's just a quick rough way to do fingers or hand, open hand, because it's basically just a square. And if you turn it this way, if you cut the fingers off, it'll be a flat surface. And then you have your four openings that your fingers go in. And as I said, if you see some of the top, that square will just go back in space or go back in time. So yeah, look at stuff as shapes. Back to this leg. This is the largest little muscle of the leg coming in here. As I say, you have your knees that you can do just a diamond. And where that diamond point comes from, you split the two muscles. Comes up. This other one comes up on the side here, and it leaves that little V there. But I'm not really doing muscles of the legs because I'm going to actually cover this all up. And then from that point, you have that shin bone that comes all the way down. And that way you keep track of where your legs are. Or you keep track of the center of your leg, should I say. And see, this is too smooth to me. This is too smooth because the pencil's kind of like all over the place. If I drag it back, it moves a little bit. Or it goes in a little direction I don't want it to go in because it's just really too smooth. Hips. Put about right here, or that upside down house, your tuna can, and then your lats. And drop this a little bit. Your bicep is always going to be pointing to the front. You already know that. Sometimes the top of the bicep is here. But when you twist the arm, you can't see that. When you twist the arm, that bicep will drop down. So for right here, the bicep is up front, your tricep is in the back. Same thing here. If he twisted his arm or twisted that thumb down, it actually turns the bicep as well. So what do I have so far? So far, so good. So the chest comes up, and right at that point where that tricep is, it cuts in. The tricep goes out here too, and your bicep connects to that. So your bicep comes from under here all the way down. Same thing here. Bicep curves in, tricep starts. You have that little dip right here, and your collarbone, and the rest is your shoulders. Now you can make your shoulders as wide, as big as you want, or as small as you want. Then from this little U here, this little U from your collarbone, you have that V that comes out that forms the neck. Then you have, and I'm going to do a face video. Somebody asked me to do a face or head video. And I forgot what I was going to say, but I'm going to do it eventually. I don't know when. I'm working on my 360 book. I'm trying to get that out. If you saw the last video, not the publishing company, the editing program that I had, since I haven't used it in a while, it's asking for my verification basically. And it's like, we'll get back to you in 30 minutes to make sure that you are a member. And that was yesterday. So we'll see what happens. Maybe because it's the holiday, they haven't really gotten into the email. But yeah, as soon as that comes through, then I'll finish my 360 book, and then I'll get that rolling. Okay, so your stomach comes here, and then it comes in, and you have, as this comes around, you have that first set of abs. The second set is a little smaller, and then you actually have the sixth, and you have that one big set right here, 2, 4, and then these 4 here. But some people just do a 6 one, just extra one there, just because you can. It doesn't matter. It's your character. And then sometimes some people are just jacked, and they have this little piece that curves around here, which actually makes it looks like they have another set Of course, as I said, is your character, but since I'm going to cover this cat, I'm not going to put a lot of work into it. I'm going to dress him. And that is the whole purpose of me doing these action pose position videos, so that one, you can use the pose and then turn it into your character or just a character that you might like using that pose that I just showed you or I'm showing you to draw. So this is going to be a Dr. Doom because I'm a Dr. Doom fan and I saw a picture of a statue that just kind of reminded me of that. So yeah, Dr. Doom. But I'm going to speed it up because there's no need for you to sit there and watch 30 minutes while I try to dress this guy. Work on this hand, work on that hand too a little bit more. It's going to be armor anyway, so yeah, there you go. So after that, so I keep saying so. That's that word. It's so. That's like women that always flick their hair, or people that say so. I'm gonna stop saying that. I'm going to stop saying that. I almost said it. My knee is right here, and the rest of the leg is there. But as I said, it's going to be covered up. I was going to say so, but this it's justified. So there is no need for me to put muscle on that leg, and no need for me to actually do the abs. But I was just showing you guys how to do it in order for you to be able to do it right, so that you guys can do it right. In order, use your thesaurus. Your thesaurus brain is another word for so. In order to, and this is going to be armor as well. All right, I am going to stare at this for a few seconds and make sure the legs are long enough for me. To me, this is a little short here. And then I'm going to do the armor and put his clothes on him, because this is foreshortened. It's cool. I could bring it back a little bit more into his leg, which it would be, and drop this down maybe another millimeter. Because this and this should be the same length. There's no need to have this extra long and this extra short unless you have a, I don't want to say deformed character, unless your character is meant to have shorter upper legs and lower legs, or vice versa. Thus, that's the new word for so. And when I did this, if you take the triangle, where is my paper? Just use this. The foot triangle, here's the leg. Here is your triangle straight down for the inner, because this is the outer. This is the other leg. Bring this out a little bit more, square this off, and then bring a line, just a small line, and that will represent where your toes are, and it just looks better instead of just leaving this triangle. As I said, bring it out, curve it a little bit, and then bring a little bit of a line there. I want to say so badly, but try not to. And then there's your foot. And you can bring this up a little bit if you want to for the heel. A lot of times I don't. It depends on the angle of the foot. And I just curve mine like that because it's just a habit of mine, a habit of doing it like that. And then you don't have to make this little toe piece. You can. As I say, it depends on the angle of the foot, but you don't want to have it coming all the way across like that. It just, to me, it just doesn't work as well. It's like you have a really square foot. Unless you're doing a boot, then you can probably do something like that. And then if you have a square boot, I don't know, however, but yeah, that's how you do it. A quick foot anatomy. Like that. And then your your ankles, your inner ankle is higher than your outer ankle. But I really never draw the ankles. I don't think anybody really draws ankles unless they're drawing somebody just barefooted. But yeah, the inner ankle is higher. So if you do a line like that, and sometimes I'll do the foot like that too. I'll just have this cross like that. That way it tells me where the ankle is. And there you have feet, quick feet. Almost said it. Almost said the word, the S word. All right. This looks pretty good. And thus, I will be inking it. Or I'm going to put some clothes on it. That's one reason I don't like to use pencil. I use a pencil for a final line, shall we say. So, there's the so word, but I had to say it. And I lost track of what I was going to say because I said so. But I was kind of messed up by using this pencil so much. But I needed to, in order for you to see it, in order for you to see these lines, because my light is shot. Okay, now I'm going to fast motion this and put his clothes on. As I said, that's going to be a Victor Von Doom. But as long as you understand the whole process for me of drawing these is for you to, one, learn the anatomy, learn how to pose the anatomy, and then take that. This is why I don't do faces on my things. And then you take that and then you draw your costume or your suit or your whatever on the character, on the body, in order for you to have your character so that you can show your friends and family and whoever, hey, this is my character I drew. Oh, that's nice. Nice body, nice build. So, yeah, I just said so. Yes, I did. Let's go with the speed motion. have it, an action pose position turned into Dr. Doom. Now, if you notice, a few things is I ended up erasing all of the anatomy to put the clothes on. So I tell people, don't stress over the anatomy. Don't try to make it perfect in the beginning, especially if you are going to do a character that has clothes on. So all of that anatomy, all those abs, all those ribs, all that stuff is going to get erased. Get your basic form first. When I did the quick sketch, that's as far as I needed to go. But since it was an action pose position, I put the rest of the muscles in there so that you can see where they go. But as I'm saying, all of that got erased. So all I really needed was just basically the shape of the form, and then I could have kept going. Now, it depends on what kind of character you're drawing. If you're drawing a tight, closed Black Panther type, then you need it. But if you're drawing somebody with a suit like the Punisher with a coat or something on, a jacket and jeans, then you really don't need every muscle. It's good to know, but you really don't need it. So one other thing is I lengthened the leg. I did that off camera because I left and I came back and I saw the leg was too short. So that's a good thing to do whenever you draw a picture. When you finish your rough, walk away for about 5-10 minutes and then come back, and then you will see a lot of your mistakes. So good tips, good advice, Dr. Doom. All right, I will see you guys at the next drawing session. It was something else I wanted to say, but I forgot. So anyway, I'll remember it as soon as I cut the camera off. All right, see you guys later, and never stop art. All right, I'm out.